At this time, I'd like to invite Senator John DeSanto to come forward to join us on the stage. I first met Senator DeSanto about 8 years ago when I took his son and a couple of my nieces and a friend tubing down the Susquehanna River through the Dauphin Narrows. It was a beautiful day, and we were out in the middle of the river when a sudden and out of nowhere thunderstorm came over us. Thunder and lightning. Yeah, Maria's nodding her head. She remembers that day. Thunder and lightning, wind, we couldn't even see. I had these kids in tubes. I couldn't even see them because the rain was so thick between us. And we were swimming for our lives to get to the shore. And we finally made it to the shore. Honestly, it really was the only time in my life I thought I could actually die at this moment. I mean, that's how bad it was. And the kids, I think, felt the same thing. We got to the shore and I said, out of the water, up to the road, get as far away from the water as we can. And then we had a long walk to get to Fort Hunter, to get to where a car was for us. And as we're walking along with this long walk ahead of us, here comes Dad DeSanto, who had been up and down the river looking for us out on the river and spotted us carrying our big inner tubes. So I think that was the first time we physically met, was that day, and we'll never forget that. So without further ado, Senator DeSanto, as a businessman, went on to become a state senator here, representing Perry County and parts of Dauphin County, and is one of the strongest voices for pro-life. He's a friend of the Pro-Life Federation for years before he became a senator, and now he is a senator out there in that house. And at this time, he has something he would like to say. Senator DeSanto.
All right, good evening, everybody. As the pastor said, it's up to us. Is that Mount St. Mary's table awake over there? You had a little noise there. Okay. You know, it's up to us. We got to do it, okay? So we got to get energized, all right? So I say pro, you say life. Pro. Life. Pro. Life. I say pro, you say life. Pro. Life. Pro. Life. All right, there you go. Is everybody awake now? You know, we got to keep energized. We got to keep the fight up. And I would ask all of you here, I know you do, because a couple of people have told me they've been praying for me. And that means a lot to me, but I want to acknowledge all of our fellow legislators here that are here supporting the movement. We also have prayer breakfasts occasionally in the legislature, and they attend. And I just encourage you to encourage us, because believe me, we do need the support up on the Hill, because it's not always fun being there. Pertaining to the rafting story, I wish I could say I only experienced near-death experience one time in my life, but unfortunately that's not true. But it wakes you up. It makes you think about what you're doing. And that's what got me involved with the pro-life movement. And Maria, my wife, who's here, many of you know, has been very influential in that. And I'm happy, I'm honored, and I think it's my duty. And I ran for the Senate as an outsider. I wanted to raise some hell. I think we need to change things, and I ran a good campaign and unseated a very, I don't want to say bad person, but he wasn't our type of person for what we're interested in with our values. And I came into the Senate, and as Mike said, you know, I've been successful in business and life, and I'm used to being the big dog at the table and, you know, saying things and seeing things happen. And believe me, I made a number of freshman mistakes as a senator. And I've had to eat some crow and learn a few things, but over the last 2 years, it's been very interesting. And our next speaker, Joe Scarnati, who's the Senate Pro Tem, I don't know that he's my friend, but I really respect Joe. I try to be his friend. And he's taught me a lot of things. And Joe has an amazing amount of strength and integrity that I've really gravitated to and that I honestly appreciate, because one of the things I've learned being a senator, when you're elected, you know, sitting on the outside, we all just say, just do the right thing. It can't be that hard. But when you get into the Senate, you realize that you're a representative of the people that elected you, and there's 50 of us from 50 different portions of the state. And honestly, the people in Philadelphia have other concerns than the people in central Pennsylvania or the northern part of the state where Joe's from, or the eastern part. We're all Pennsylvanians. We all want to do the right thing, but we all legitimately have different interests. And Joe's job is incredibly hard, trying to bring 49, because he can handle himself, 49 sometimes knuckleheads together to get things done properly. And he's displayed leadership, he's displayed integrity, and he's kept things calm and even to the point that I really respect that, and I've learned a lot from him. And I also I know, if you remember, I think I spoke just briefly here last year. It's been just a year since we closed down Hillcrest, right? Just a little over a year. It was at dinner last year. And, Joe and I signed the letter along with Senator Eichelberger, right? And forced an investigation and closed that building down, and it remains empty. But as the Senate Pro Tem, Joe has a lot to do, and sometimes he's not always on the floor or always at committee meetings because he's pulled in many different directions, and he will vote by proxy. But I can tell you, on all matters of pro-life, when it came to trying to defund Planned Parenthood in Pennsylvania and controlling what some of that money can be spent on for services, when it came to the abortion bill, Joe was always there. He was always speaking, and he was always leading us all. So we owe this man a debt of gratitude. And he's had struggles in his personal life, and we all, my fellow legislators I'm talking to, I'm not sure who else here, but we had a very tough week. And we're going to continue our work. We're going to continue our fight. And I know in the Senate, with Joe's continued leadership, we're going to do the right thing, and we're going to keep moving this pro-life fight forward. So on behalf of the Board of Directors, the Pennsylvania Pro-Life Federation, I'd like to invite Senator Pro Tem Joe Scarnati to come up and receive the award for 2018. Thank you.
John, I'm your friend, okay? We break bread. We're friends. Thank you, John, for the kind words, and certainly thank all of you for where I believe this humbling and most gracious award for this achievement. I greatly appreciate it. I grew up in an Italian Catholic family. My mother is a Swedish Protestant, but she converted to Catholicism, which, as we all know, is probably a better Catholic than most of us, right? But what I can tell you is I grew up in a family that always taught respect. My grandmother, I remember at a young age, respect your elders, respect the people you work with, respect the disabled person. And that lessons of respect really resonated as I grew older to understand what it really meant. Respect life. Respect those that are dying. Respect those with severe disabilities. Respect the unborn. And life experiences guide all of us, more so than anything. And what I can tell you is my life experiences made me a strong, strong pro-life advocate. I only hope that our heirs, generations from now, don't look back at the United States and look back at us and say, my God, they were barbaric. That country was awful. The killing of unborn babies. And I fear that when they look back at us, we can do something better here. We can do something more. You know, when we're faced with tough issues, whether it's up at that Capitol, and as John said, it's been a tough couple weeks up there, let me tell you. Let me tell you, there's a mob mentality. And we have to fight back. Every voice in this room has to be heard. They want us to silence our voice, they want us to walk away, and they want us to capitulate. And we can't do that. We have to continue this fight. And I ask all of you to continue that fight with myself, with my new friend, John DeSanto. First time I met him, I don't know who he is. And I pray that the good Lord gives us and everyone the strength, the wisdom, and most of all, the courage to do the right thing. Thank you all, and God bless.